we go first against Mono Blue, which is always scary. So Orvar is a interesting deck because he wants to target his stuff, and then whenever he does, he gets a clone of it, a token of it, of the permanent. So it's pretty damn good. Okay, so they're just not doing anything. So this probably gets countered, and if it doesn't, then we're in for a treat here. Wow, okay. Corsair Captain. This is a pirate card? Oh, because it creates a treasure. Okay. Like if we bounce this, they get to do it again, but we get to also, in fact, I think we just attack first. Okay. It's pretty good to see. So we could have played the Ezuri there. I think but we missed out on drawing, didn't we? Oh well. I just wasn't really sure what to do. There was actually so many options, to be honest. Yeah, I should have played Ezuri first and then attacked. Oh well. We missed out on a card, essentially, but... So they've got 5 mana. I always forget this card exists. The artwork is actually stunning on this. It's so cool. The colours are just lovely on this. Okay, so they've got 1 blue open to maybe bounce one of their things. Do they want to block? That's the question. Let's see if... What do we go for this first? Let's try and go for this spell. So let's try and bounce the Orvar to the hand. So they could target... No, okay. So now we can swing in. Now we do lose a bit of value here because we don't have any artifacts in the graveyard. But I think it's fine because when this flips, it's going to become a really annoying card for them to deal with. Because whenever we cast a spell, they can't cast spells with the same mana value until our next turn. So that's really cool. Do they have any spells to defend themselves with? So now it's going to get really tricky because... So yeah, if we cast a 2-mana spell, they can't play any 2-mana spells until their next turn. This is a crazy card. That's a really good card. Okay. So... 6 mana. Let's try and bounce it to the hand again. So they can't cast 2 drops. So they're going to flicker the Corsair Captain, which means they get a copy of it. So even if we exile it here, they'll still get one. Okay. Oh, because it's a shapeshifter, the bonus applies to all. Okay. So we can still swing in here. I feel like I got very lucky. Draw a card. And we can be an absolute dick because essentially, if we go for Expand the Sphere, they can't cast that Orvar next turn. Put 2 lands into play. Yeah, let's do that. We could have drawn instead, but I think it's good to establish the mana. So now, they're in a bit of a pickle. So they can't cast 2 or 4. I really need to get this card on eBay. This is so good. One of my friends, he uses this in Commander, and it's I always forget how good it is because it's weird. The flavour of it is strange because the front side and the back side don't have anything to do with each other. There's no like through line there. And sorry if I sound very nasally today. It's because I have a cold. We'll say Captain. Interesting because they did bounce this back. We're going to be able to stop them playing Magic again. Go for Nissa. We can swing with a 5/5. So they can't cast 5s. They do have 2 blue mana though.
I will protect the virtue of this world.
Interesting that she can turn islands into creatures, because she doesn't really normally care about that sort of stuff. So now they have to block. And we have a kill spell in case they want to do anything sneaky. So they have to block the 5, at least. Wow, they're going to take 6. Although if we go Snakeskin Veil, don't they just die? Because that's 7. They can't cast 1 now, or 5. So they're going to phase that out. What does that do exactly? We're still dealing 7 damage, aren't we? Oh, I felt really lucky there. Like, Orvar's normally a tough deck to face because it's mono blue, but yeah, this deck's good. Hello, welcome back to a new episode. Today we're looking at Ezuri, Stalker of Spheres, and this is a really cool deck because it's trying to win in 2 or 3 different ways. Firstly, you want to get loads of Planeswalkers out, and then you want to proliferate them as quickly as you can in order to ultimate and go in for the kill. You can also sustain yourself against control decks really well. Another way is you've actually got an effect strategy as well, so stuff like Venerated Rot Priest and the Bloated Contaminator. Once you get 1 or 2 poison counters on your opponent and you can just start proliferating them, there's not much they can really do to get back from this. If you don't want to use actual creatures, you can also use Prologue to Phyresis, which gives them a poison counter anyway. There's a lot of ways to kind of passively proliferate in the deck. You've got Flux Channeler, cast non-creature spell, proliferate. Evolution Sage, land comes in, proliferate. You also got a brand new card, Quicksilver Servitor. Whenever you cast a spell that was put into your hand, it's time to proliferate as well. So there's loads of different ways to subtly proliferate. Obviously, Ezuri comes in. It's quite expensive if you want to pay 3, but if you do, you get 2 proliferate triggers, and you also get to draw a card. Bear in mind, you can just draw a card even if you don't put any counters on anything. Proliferate just is a state of being able to put stuff on. You don't have to actually trigger it, which is pretty damn awesome. The deck, it's pretty solid, to be honest. Simic does struggle with small creatures, like board wipes aren't very big in these colours, but we do have the Phasing of Zhalfir to get rid of some creatures, and also the River's Rebuke. You know, this is a toxic card, but you kind of need it sometimes. The deck is pretty cool, so check it out in the deck list below. You can drop me a like and a sub to really support the channel. And don't forget, if you wanted to see the early access stream I did the other day, which was really fun. It was 4.5 hours, no breaks. You can check that out in my live videos section. So it'd be really cool to get more eyes on that. And let's get into the gameplay. Okay, we go first. As in the Simic mirror match, we have turn 1 elves, which is absolutely incredible. Tamio, so they might be more of a control-y build. I mean, we should be able to deal with their stuff. We don't run counters because we're more of a tap-out style deck as well. So turn 3, play next turn. Not really that much we can do yet. I guess we go for the Goose and the... Yeah, we go for the Goose and the Sanctuary. So if they do target us off, we get to draw a card. Pretty crazy, actually. This is like the most explosive start you could ever wish for. That's why one mana dorks are so important in green, because it just pushes you above and beyond. They've got 2 mana open though, so that's slightly concerning. So I don't really want to go for anything too big there. I really want them to tap out, to be honest. Tainted Observer. So they've got a toxic strategy as well. So I think we're going to tap this down. Slow them down a bit. So they can also go for their Tamio in the center if they want to. So it'd be a Tamio battle off, but we have the better art. So yeah. So whenever another creature enters, they can proliferate. That's pretty good, but it can... I didn't use it in this deck, I don't think. I don't think it's in this deck because it just felt a bit too expensive. Also, we don't have any creatures. Getting this to ultimate might be really good. So they target any of our creatures, we can draw a card off the Sanctuary, which is pretty awesome.
So too shall Phyrexia ascend.
Oh, cool. That's good. Okay, we get a land, which is exactly what we need.
Such an imperfect form.
Let's tap that down.
Bow before
And I think we should use this time to get the Ezuri out, because then what they'll probably do is start tapping the Ezuri down, which means we can use the Llanowar Elves. If we lose anything, we can bring it back with the Unnatural Restoration, which is pretty cool. Experimental Augury, so they're going to proliferate as well. So it's a race to see who can ultimate Tamio the fastest. But again, if they tap any of our things, we get to draw a card with the Sanctuary. Okay. So they're going to tap that, proliferate. Wow. They've managed to keep us at bay pretty damn easily, to be honest. And they're reducing our mana, but again, we're just going to keep drawing cards here. Garrick.
You do not write
So,
story.
do we just... Can we proliferate? I don't think so. So I think we just go for the ultimate here.
My research has this was merely a
And the fact that it makes our spells costs 2 less to cast is kind of wild. They're going to be able to do the same, and that's the only scary part. This is actually a really powerful ultimate, so let's draw a card, see what we get. So we got 5 mana. Do we want to go for the world spell? Yeah. Let's see what we can get here, because once that gets to ultimate, we will be able to put 2 permanents into play. So that's pretty good if we can proliferate that. If they get rid of this artifact, we lose the spell cheapening. But that's just the way it is. I mean, we also have a way to get rid of theirs as well. The only concerning part is if they get extra turns, we could be in trouble here. When it enters proliferate. Okay. So now we've got to contend with this toxic guy. Although we could actually just block this. If we want. Because we don't have any treasures anyway. So they're more focused on getting this to 9 loyalty, which is interesting.
This is the one true.
But yeah, we can just get rid of this with a resculpt. It's not too bad. So if we get to proliferate, we can pop this off. I think we need to block though, because we've seen how easy they can proliferate, so we need to stop them. Okay. So let's see what the world spell gets us here. Oh wow. Nissa. Pretty awesome. So we could go for this and make a creature, but leaves us a bit vulnerable, doesn't it? We could put Rolesk into play and then put counters on the Llanowar Elves and then attack in with that. Or we could get back the Goose and then proliferate. Oh, this actually seems pretty cool. Okay, tell you what, we will... What should we do? I think we want to... Wow, there's so many choices here. Okay, let's get back the Gilded Goose. Actually, we'll get back the Tamio. And we'll proliferate the world spell. Kind of crazy, actually. So we can put the Nissa, and we can put the Roalesk into play. Kind of berserk, actually. So we could also minus as well if we wanted to. Go for Garrett, go for Tamio to tap down something. We could also draw a card. Wow, there are so many things we can do here. Into the north. Destroy something. Oh, yeah, I think that's more important, actually. Let's get rid of that. We really don't want their spells to be cheaper, to be honest.
Cut off at the root.
Which means their ultimate was for naught, essentially. Wow, we are really just absolutely kicking ass here, aren't we? If we tap this, and then we can bounce that, so we can now just kill the Tamio. More Planeswalkers is exactly what we want to see here. So now the only thing we're really scared of is River's Rebuke, to be honest, because we have an absolute crazy field. The fact they haven't quit is an indication that they probably have something really good. So yeah, River's Rebuke would just absolutely annihilate us, I think. So let's just hope they don't have that. Yeah, the World Spell is awesome, I have to say. It really is. Putting 2 non-sagas into play for 7. I feel like that's just asking for like some kind of combo potential there. Okay, so they're going to tap down the Rolesk. Sure. So if this dies for any reason, we get to proliferate twice. Now we still actually haven't got any infect, which is a good thing because it means that they just can't just proliferate us to death. Okay, Mox Amber, fantastic. Just free mana basically. So, equal to her loyalty. Let's go for the Garrick. I think we just keep tapping down this flying guy.
You do not write this story.
Make a creature. Draw a card. I'd like to kill their Tamio, but I don't... Oh, Heroic Intervention, that's pretty damn good.
This is my territory.
Yeah, we're just absolutely popping off here, guys. Yeah, absolutely crazy amount of... this deck is so epic. Okay, so we're facing Bear Tribal. Always fun. We can't keep this hand. It's just too slow. We don't have any action. It's just more like defensive spells and 7-mana spells. It's not going to cut it, unfortunately. So Bear Tribal, whenever you play bear things happen. Rot Priest turn 1's always good. Especially with Proliferate next turn as well. So sadly this doesn't work against abilities. So if they have some kind of ability, but it should be, because fight normally targets anyway, so there's the bear. I feel like I want to leave the safekeeping up. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the safekeeping up because I get a feeling they want to kill this. But giving it indestructible is going to kind of negate that, hopefully. And then next turn we can go for the Throwing Bird. Signet. Is it going to be a bear? Also no attacks. Okay. Keeping it safe. Oh, okay. So we got this. So now we ramp, I think. Just keep the Tamio safekeeping up. So obviously, if we get to River's Rebuke, we can practically win the game, I think. Yeah, this Venerated Rot Priest is a highly respected card. Like, people just do not want to target it. Because obviously, you know, getting a poison counter is the beginning of the end for many decks. Cloning this would be awesome as well. The fact that we can target it as well. So, oh, I goodness. So if they do attack or fight this and target it for any reason, they get a poison. And if we target it, they get another poison as well. It's still not going to do anything. Okay, let's go for Ezuri, which we can also protect. Being very cautious, like, it's a bit strange because they're playing like mono blue, but they're mono green. So I feel pretty damn safe, like whatever they do, we'll be able to just bounce it all back to the hand if we need to. 4, 5, 6. They can play 3 bears. Slightly odd, I mean, how else are they going to win until they start playing bears, you know? Strange. Okay. Okay, let's swing and see what happens. Remember that if they target any of our creatures, they get, in fact. Okay. Go for throwing bird. Man, Ezuri just made Proliferate Tribal so viable now. He's just so incredible. Definitely underrated in my opinion. I didn't really rate him that high. But then when I realised that Proliferate doesn't need targets as such, or things to put things on, just makes him so much better. Probably should have used the Tezzret's Gambit in our turn, to be honest. I was not thinking straight there. Okay, so give it Indestructible Hexproof. Which means they can't kill it with another bear unless the bear has flash. Right, now they're in trouble because, well, with the River's Rebuke and they have poison. But actually, to be honest, yeah, I'm actually kind of glad I didn't use the Gambit because I'd rather proliferate when we have a chance to, you know, give them more poison. Question is, do I use Rebuke or Placing Himself Fear? Let's go for this first, I think. Crazy. This is actually pretty crazy. So we're going to get to basically draw 3 cards for 3 mana here. Wow. Oh, and the Blizzard Brawl as well. We can do so many things. But if we do this green source, we can't do any other spells. So I think we fly over the top of the Throbbing Bird first. Because when that hits, we get to draw another card. What have I made? This deck is ridiculously good. Ooh, we could even go for this. But I think I'd rather fight the bear, which gives them another poison. They could have hexproof. And this is why I need more green sources, because I can't do anything else now, which is kind of sad. Tamio safekeeping. Okay, so I reckon we're probably going to lose the Rot Priest next turn. But as I said, we've already got the Infect set in stone, so it shouldn't be too much harder. The only issue is like, oh wow, Great Henge. So the River's Rebuke is looking extra good here. And also the fact they gain life doesn't really bother us too much, because we're going for the Infect route. Attacking with a 4-3, yeah, I'm not too bothered about that. It's just a common. Brave, though. Wow. I think we just go for the River's Rebuke, don't we? Not much they can do about this because it targets a player. Green doesn't have a way to protect players. Who would have thought that River's Rebuke could have been... I was around playing Standard when River's Rebuke came out, and at the time, I didn't think too much of it. Like, I thought it was okay, but it turns out people like Cyclonic Rift so much in Commander. You know, 7 mana, get rid of everything, but River's Rebuke only targets 1, but for 1 mana less, so it kind of feels good still. Okay, so they're going to fight... Oh, it's not fight, is it steal damage? Deals damage, okay. Sure thing. They won't have the... Okay, I think what we should do is... swing in first. So they've got 7. And then I think we're going to get a forest. Or do we just proliferate here? No, we'll get a land because... I don't know, I just feel like I want to get a land. Like, I could proliferate there, take them to 8, but it doesn't win the game. And I also have the Flux Channeler anyway. So next time I could go Flux Channeler, Unnatural Restoration, get back. Okay, there's no creatures, are there? I should have probably put the Ezuri in the bin. Is there anything they can actually do here? Yeah, that was a pretty lucky game, I have to say. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.